Hello everybody, my name is Blake the Crafter64 and welcome to the Crafter64 channel. And if you watched my previous video, you will know that I'm going to start doing game reviews, movie reviews, and book reviews. And when I say games, I mean video games and board games. So anyway, I thought, what better to start our review series off with Mario Kart, with the Mario Kart games. Yes, I know it would make more sense to start with the main Super Mario Brothers series. But I want to start with Mario Kart because this is my channel. I can do whatever I want. Anyway, we're gonna start with Mario Kart because Mario Kart is a game series I hold very close to my heart. It's been with me since I was a little boy. So yeah, it's been a part of my childhood. So if we start with the Mario Kart games, we have to start with the first one, Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. It is definitely not one of my favorites. I guess it's because it's on the Super Nintendo, and the Super Nintendo wasn't really capable of making a good Mario Kart game. I mean, it is the first game, so I can't really criticize it that much. I mean, it was their first attempt, but still, it's not one of my favorites. The only one I'd consider worse than Super Mario Kart is Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. Actually, I think Super Circuit might be better. I think Mario Kart Tour for mobile games, mobile phones might be the worst one. I don't know. Anyway, let's jump into Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. I just realized I don't have a physical copy of Super Mario Kart, so we're gonna do the next best thing: play it on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. So let me just go and plug in the Super Nintendo Classic, and we can get on with the review.
Alright, so Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. Let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, so before I get into the review, I just want to go ahead and say that I don't want this review to be like 15 minutes long or something. This is going to be a small, quick review of Super Mario Kart because really, I do not have a lot to say for this game. Honestly, I do not have a lot to say. So anyway, how about we start with the pros and then we move on to the cons. So with the pros are it's on the Super Nintendo that's good. That's great because Super Nintendo is like one of my favorite consoles of all time. Another pro is that it has a decent roster of characters. We have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Koopa Troopa, and Donkey Kong Jr.? Really? Is that the best y'all could come up with? Donkey Kong Jr.? When this game came out, Donkey Kong Jr. wasn't even that big of a character anymore. Last time we saw him was in obscure games like Donkey Kong Jr. Math and stuff like that. I honestly think they should have went with the original Donkey Kong instead of Donkey Kong Jr. I think that would have made a lot more sense. Whatever, let's get to the next pro. Next pro is, it looks pretty decent on the Super Nintendo. I mean, nowadays, it doesn't look good at all, but back in the day, whenever it first came out, I'm pretty sure I bet it looked like a really good game. I mean, the graphics aren't terrible. I mean, they look okay. I mean, they were pretty good for the time, but since we have games like Mario Kart 8, which have beautiful graphics, these graphics really don't look good. They really don't look good anymore. Also, for the time, the controls were also decent. But nowadays, since we have games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that controls super well, the controls for this game aren't really that good anymore. Also, I like the music. I mean, it's not the best. It's 16-bit, but I still like the music. My favorite song in the entire track is my favorite song in the entire game is the Mario Circuit song. I love that one. Yeah. All the other songs are great, but I like Mario Circuit best. Also, instead of having a bunch of brand new tracks, like a bunch of original tracks, Super Mario Kart likes to do double of one single track. So the only original tracks really in the game are Mario Circuit. Well, the only tracks in the game are Mario Circuit, Donut Plains, Choco Island, Vanilla Lake, Boo Valley, Bowser's Castle, and Rainbow Road. But instead of having other new tracks, all they do is have like four different versions of those tracks, like 2 or 3 different versions of them, instead of having completely new tracks. I guess they did that because the Super Nintendo wasn't capable of doing a bunch of brand new tracks. I have no idea. I think they should have they should at least try to do an original tracks instead of doubling on ones that already exist. Rainbow Road is the only track that doesn't have a double of it, which I honestly think is great because the Rainbow Road in this game, I kind of despise it. I really don't like it. But anyway, those were the pros. Now let's talk about the cons. Con number 1, it doesn't control that good. I know it was back on the Super Nintendo, but they could have at least tried to do better. I mean, when I try to control this game, when I try driving in this game, I go flying off the track. Honestly, I go flying off the frickin' track. It's so hard to steer in this game. It's so hard to drift in this game, too. Anytime I just turn normally. Anytime I try to drift in this game, I go flying every which way. Like, I go flying into the dirt or whatever stuff slows you down on a track. Honestly, I do not like the controls in Super Mario Kart. Con number 2. The character roster. I have no problem with the character roster except for one thing. Donkey Kong Jr. He is aggravating. It is aggravating to have him in a Mario Kart game. Plus, he never returns. So, why even have him anymore? Why even have him if you're not gonna have him return? Honestly, he was a bad character choice to begin with. So, yeah, bad character choice. I wouldn't. Honestly, if I was to make the next Mario Kart game, I would not include him at all. I'm surprised why Nintendo even included him. Why not include Donkey Kong from the original arcade games? Somebody more recognizable than Donkey Kong Jr. Anyway, con number 3. The stages. They all feel exactly the same. Seriously, more than half the stages are just a freaking circle. Seriously, you can look at any map layout and they're just circles. Nintendo, you could have did better than that. I know it was the Super Nintendo, but you could have done better than that. Seriously. All of the levels are just freaking circles. Whatever. I've gone on about this game long enough. Let's talk about the battle mode. Meh. Yeah, the battle mode's meh. I really don't care for it. I don't even recall a single time whenever I'm playing with friends that they say they're having a good time. Seriously, the times I play battle mode with friends, they literally seem like they're bored out of their minds sitting in their seats with their Super Nintendo controllers. Seriously, this game is not that fun in battle mode. It's okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing out there, but I think the battle mode's fine. I had fun playing it, but I guess my friends didn't. I don't know. Anyway, the battle mode's fine.
Final thoughts? Super Mario Kart, it's meh. It's not that good, but it's not that bad either. Honestly, it's way worse than the games that succeeded it. Except for maybe Super Circuit. That's on the same level. But anyway, Super Mario Kart, it's not that bad of a game. It's not as bad as I honestly think it's not as bad as people say it is. But it's not that good either. I really don't like it. I mean, it's okay to play, but honestly, I'd rather play any of the other games. Besides Super Circuit, of course. Besides Super Mario Kart and Super Circuit, I'd rather play any of the other games, honestly. But anyway, that was my review of Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. I know it wasn't that long of a review because I said it wouldn't be that long. But anyway, it's an okay game. It's fine. Anyway, next on the review train is Mario Kart 64 for the Nintendo 64, which many people consider their favorite Mario Kart game. Do I? No, but it's an okay game. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next week for Mario Kart 64 on the Nintendo 64.